Cherie Jennings is suing her ex-boyfriend, Seneca Daniel, for $3,500 for furniture and 2 months' rent. Find out whose side of the story Judge Maria Lopez believes.
I understand you're here suing your former boyfriend, Mr. Daniel, for $3,500. $2,800 of that is for furniture and $700 in rent. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and Mr. Daniel, you're saying you don't owe her anything, that you never agreed to pay for the furniture, and that you don't owe her any rent. Is that correct?
That is correct, but I'd like to make a correction. That was my friend with benefits.
He was my boyfriend at the time. We began dating in June of 2005. The relationship was very rocky. In about December of 2005, Seneca and I had discussed me moving into his place where he stayed at. Seneca, like I said, was very controlling. He used to go through my cell phone. It started to become a very big issue.
Why did you move out?
I moved out because he actually became a little bit physical. I'm very
Were you
joking.
cheating on him?
No. I'm very joking with a lot of my friends.
3
and
o'clock in the
so
morning.
one of my friends, but I do understand where he could have gotten upset in that situation.
Were you supposed to pay rent?
Yes.
How much?
The agreement was that I would pay $400 rent.
Is that what you agreed on?
Yes, and the rent that I was paying was $1,500.
We went to the furniture store. So at the time, when the time came to actually purchase the furniture, we decided to go ahead and finance it through my name and my credit. Reason being was Seneca at the time was trying to buy houses. He was trying to get in the business of flipping houses. So he wanted to reduce his debt to income ratio.
Did you tell her you were going to pay for the furniture?
No, I didn't. He said, I would do this for you because she's going to be sleeping in the bed also.
And your understanding is that she was going to buy this for herself or for the two of you?
It was for us.
Well, throughout that, I only lived with Seneca for a month.
The furniture is still at your house.
Right. If she
And why
wanted the
haven't you paid for it?
Because she gave it to me. And I told her when she moved out, I said, is there anything that you want in the house, you can take it out at that time.
She gave it to you?
It was a gift.
Okay, and you're saying no way that it was his furniture.
And I didn't mind, leaving the furniture at his house because basically I said, it's his. He's going to pay me for it. It's no problem.
The rent issue. You want $700. What is that for?
So I gave him $400 cash at the beginning of February for February's rent. Around February 17th, he was like, well, listen, I have some stuff that I want to buy. Can you give me an advance on the rent? And I said, well, this is how much I have to spare. I can go ahead and write you out a check for $700. And he was like, okay, that's fine. You just still owe me the $100 at the end of April.
He gave me $700, but it wasn't for that.
What was it for?
It was for some of the utilities and her rent.
You said you have proof of the rent?
Yes, and it says rent on here.
Yeah, gave you on February 15th, $700. Early rent for March and April 2006. What do you have there, Mr. Daniel?
The carbon copy where she written the check out in her own handwriting off my checkbook, and I just signed it. To give her $200 back because she moved out in the middle of the month. And just like I said before, the rent was $1,500. She was only paying $400.
He wrote me out a check for $200 that I put through my bank account. Around that same time, I wrote him out a check for $200 that went ahead and cleared.
That wasn't the case. The case was she was bugging me, calling my cell phone, because at the time, I had a cell phone in her name too, okay? She was blowing up my cell phone, and she was asking me, well, you ain't give me half the money back for such and such.
This is May 23rd.
Right, we were still kicking it off and on when she was at her apartment.
And you're saying that's not what happened?
Right, and if I'd known that that was here, I would have brought you proof in my checkbook that I wrote him out also a check for $200 around that same time.
I believe you. I believe you. I don't need to see that proof, okay? It's very clear to me. When did you move out?
I moved out of his place on March 18th,
Okay,
2000.
so you paid $400 for 1 month.
Exactly, the $400 was legitimate, and that
for February.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you lived there part of March.
Exactly.
She agreed to buy it, extending credit to her in order to protect your real estate development business. Then she moved out. You have the furniture. She's agreed. I think she's been very reasonable. In fact, she was asking for $700 when it was pointed out to her that she wasn't entitled to the full $700 because she lived there for about 3 weeks in March. She agreed and understood that. So she is going to win. She's going to win $2,800 because that's the furniture. That's what the furniture costs. And she's going to get an additional $500 for the rent she paid during the time that she wasn't living there. And that is $3,300 judgment for plaintiff.